Have you ever walked into your home and felt like something just did not feel right? Not a strong odor and not something terrible. Just a lingering scent that made the room feel a little off, a little less welcoming than it should be? You are not alone. I have had that feeling too, and I know how much it can affect the way we feel in our own space. As we grow older, our homes become even more important. They are not just places we live in. They are spaces where we find peace, comfort, and a sense of belonging. And a big part of that comfort comes from how our home smells. Today, I want to share with you 10 simple, heartfelt tips that can help make your home smell clean, calm, and truly comforting. These are not fancy tricks or expensive solutions. These are small habits, gentle, mindful routines that bring freshness into your space without overwhelming it. Because making your home smell good is not about covering up the bad. It is about creating an environment that feels loved, cared for, and quietly beautiful. So, let's take this time together. Let me walk you through each tip, step by step, like an old friend sharing what works. What truly makes a difference? I hope by the end of this, you feel inspired, not just to freshen your home, but to care for it in a way that brings more peace into your daily life. Let's begin. Tip number 1. Take out the trash daily and clean the bins monthly. Let us start with one of the most basic, yet most powerful habits, taking out the trash every single day. It may sound simple, maybe even too simple. But here's the truth. Nothing builds up household odor faster than a trash can that sits too long. Even if it is only half full, the food scraps, tissues, packaging, and little bits of life that we toss away start to break down. They create gases, and those odors, especially in a warm home, do not just stay in the bin. They spread. That is why I have made it part of my nightly routine, just like brushing my teeth or turning off the lights. Before I go to bed, I check the kitchen trash. Even if it is not packed to the top, I tie up the bag and take it out. I do the same with the bathroom bins. This one habit makes such a big difference. The next morning, the kitchen smells fresh. There is no mystery odor to chase, and I get to start the day feeling a little lighter. But here is the part most people forget, the bins themselves. Taking out the trash helps, yes, but the inside of the bin can start to smell all on its own. That plastic absorbs odors, especially from liquids or food waste that might have leaked. So once a month, I give my bins a gentle but effective cleaning. My favorite cleaner is a simple homemade mix: 1 cup of white vinegar, 1 cup of warm water, and about 1 teaspoon of liquid dish soap. I personally like using the original blue version of the Dawn brand because it cuts through grease so well, but any gentle soap will do. I mix those together and spray it inside the bin. I let it sit for a few minutes, then scrub with a soft brush or sponge. If the weather is nice, I take the bin outside and rinse it out with the garden hose, then let it dry in the sun. If I'm staying indoors, I wipe it down with paper towels or an old cloth. This little act, cleaning the bin, not just removing the trash, helps eliminate odors at the source. It does not just mask smells, it truly removes them. So, every evening, take out the trash, and once a month, clean those bins. You will notice the difference right away, not just in the way your home smells, but in the way it feels. Tip number 2, refresh the garbage disposal to prevent sink odors. Let us move into the kitchen and take a closer look at one of the most overlooked sources of bad smells, the garbage disposal. If you have a garbage disposal in your sink, you know how useful it is. It makes cleanup easier. It grinds up bits of food and washes them away. But over time, little pieces of food can get stuck inside. Grease, soap scum, and even lemon peels can collect in the blades and pipes. And the result? A foul odor that lingers in your kitchen, even if everything looks clean on the surface. You might walk into the kitchen and think, "What is that smell?" You check the trash can, the fridge, even the dog's bed, and then realize it is coming from the sink. That is the garbage disposal telling you it needs a little care. I like to keep things simple. My go-to method is to use disposal cleaning pods. These are little tablets you can buy at the grocery store or online. They fizz and clean when you run the disposal. You just follow the instructions. Usually, you drop one into the disposal, run cold water, and turn the unit on. Within seconds, it cleans the blades and flushes out the buildup, all while releasing a clean citrusy scent. If you prefer something more natural, you can also use ice cubes and lemon slices. Put a few ice cubes and a slice of lemon into the disposal. Run cold water and turn it on. The ice helps knock off residue, and the lemon adds a refreshing scent. The best part is this only takes a minute or two. But the result? Your kitchen will smell better, and you will have the peace of knowing there is nothing hidden in those pipes. I try to do this once every week or two, especially after cooking strong-smelling meals, or if I notice that the sink is starting to smell. Taking care of the disposal is one of those quiet chores that makes a loud difference in the overall feel of your kitchen. So do not wait for it to smell bad. Make it part of your routine. Tip number 3. Use an air purifier with a HEPA filter. Now let us talk about the air itself. The truth is, our homes hold more than just furniture and memories. They also hold particles, dust, dander, pollen, smoke, even tiny airborne bacteria. And all of those can affect not just how the air feels, but how it smells. That is where an air purifier can make a real difference. It is not just a luxury or a gadget. For many women in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, an air purifier becomes an ally in making the home feel cleaner and safer. But not just any purifier will do. When shopping for one, make sure to look for the letters HEPA. That stands for High Efficiency Particulate Air. A HEPA filter is designed to capture the smallest particles, those that often carry odor. This kind of filter can pull pet dander, smoke particles, and even cooking smells out of the air. Also, size matters. You want a purifier that is large enough for the room you place it in. If it is too small, it will not clean the air properly. I use a medium-size one in the living room and a smaller one in the bedroom. One very important thing to remember is to change or clean the filter as directed. A dirty filter cannot do its job. In fact, it may even start to smell itself if left too long. Set a reminder on your phone or write it in your calendar. Most filters need replacing every 3 months, but some last longer. Just check the instructions that came with your unit. And one more gentle thought. Many women I know enjoy placing their purifier in the bedroom. It adds a soft hum, almost like a white noise machine, and can make sleep more restful. Clean air is not just about smell. It is about peace. So if you have been thinking about it, this may be the moment to try. A good air purifier with a true HEPA filter is one of the best investments you can make for a fresher, healthier home. Tip number 4. Build a light, simple cleaning routine. Let us take a moment to talk about routines. Not the kind that wear you out, but the kind that keep your home feeling calm, clean, and cared for. The truth is, you do not need to deep clean your whole house every week. In fact, many of us no longer have the energy or desire for that kind of heavy lifting. But what you can do is build a light cleaning routine, a small set of tasks you do every day or every few days to help stay ahead of dust, clutter, and odor. It can be as simple as this. After breakfast, wipe down the kitchen counters. In the afternoon, check if the bathroom sink needs a quick clean. Every 2 or 3 days, do a light vacuum, especially if you have pets. And in the evening, give the living room a once-over. Straighten pillows, fold blankets, maybe light a soft scented candle. These little rhythms add up. They prevent buildup before it becomes overwhelming. And just like brushing your teeth, they become second nature over time. One thing I found especially helpful is keeping a checklist. Not a long list that stresses you out, just a simple weekly guide. I created one for myself with a few daily and weekly habits I like to follow. And if you want, I made it available to download below this video. It is written with grace and patience in mind. No pressure, just a gentle guide. The key is not perfection. It is consistency. A tidy kitchen, a clean bathroom, and a soft scent in the air. That is all it takes to make a house feel like a peaceful retreat. So remember, you are not behind. You are doing what you can, and that is more than enough. Tip number 5. Open a window for 5 to 10 minutes a day. There is something beautifully simple about fresh air. It is free. It is healing. And it is often forgotten. Many homes, especially in colder months, stay closed up for weeks at a time. That warm, still air may feel cozy, but it can also trap odors, cooking smells, pet dander, moisture, and dust. When there is nowhere for the air to go, it starts to feel heavy. That is why I try to open a window, just a crack, for 5 to 10 minutes a day, even in the winter. Sometimes I do it in the morning while I make tea, or in the afternoon while I fold laundry. I do not leave it open long enough to lose all the heat, just enough to let the room breathe. If the weather is mild, I open 2 windows on opposite ends of the house to let the breeze flow through. This cross-ventilation clears out stagnant air and brings in a light freshness that no air spray or candle can match. It also helps reduce moisture in the bathroom and kitchen, which can prevent mildew and that musty smell none of us enjoy. If you are sensitive to pollen or outdoor allergens, try doing this at times when the pollen count is low, like after a rain or early in the morning. And if you live in a city with air pollution, a small indoor air filter might be a safer option. But if your surroundings allow for it, even just a little, give your home a breath of fresh air. Your lungs and your spirit will thank you. Tip number 6. Light a candle or use a gentle air freshener. Now, let us talk about scent, not to cover up bad smells, but to add warmth and comfort to the air you breathe. Scent is deeply personal. For some, lavender brings calm. For others, it might be vanilla, cinnamon, or fresh linen. A softly scented candle can completely change the mood of a room, especially in the evening when the lights are low and the day winds down. Personally, I enjoy lighting a candle in the living room while I read. It is a small act, but it makes the space feel peaceful and intentional. I do not need it to be strong. In fact, I prefer the softer, more natural scents. Nothing too sharp or artificial. If candles are not your thing, a light fabric spray like Febreze Touch can freshen up your couch or favorite chair. You just give it a light spritz and let it dry. Every time you sit down, the soft scent releases again. I always remind people, when using air fresheners, look for ones that say odor neutralizing, rather than just fragrance added. You do not want to just pile a sweet smell on top of a stale one. You want something that actually removes the cause of the odor while leaving behind a clean scent. And of course, safety comes first. If you live with oxygen tanks, have lung conditions, or are sensitive to fragrance, skip the scents entirely. A clean room with good airflow and no strong smells is often more comforting than anything else. The goal is not to make your home smell like a store or a perfume shop. The goal is to make it feel like your home, safe, warm, and deeply yours. Tip number 7. Place scented sachets in drawers and linen closets. There is a quiet joy in opening a drawer and being greeted by a soft, comforting scent. It might be lavender, rose, cedar, or something that reminds you of someone you love. For me, it is always lavender. It reminds me of my mother's dresser drawer and how everything she owned smelled gentle and familiar. Scented sachets are a simple and beautiful way to freshen the spaces we do not think about every day. Drawers, closets, even storage boxes can hold on to stale air or musty smells over time. But with a tiny pouch of herbs or essential oils, you can gently bring those forgotten spaces back to life. You can buy sachets at most stores, but it is even nicer to make them yourself. All you need is a small piece of cotton or muslin fabric, some ribbon or string, and a filling. Dried lavender is a classic choice. You can also add rose petals, chamomile, or even a few drops of essential oil on cotton balls. Baking soda makes a great base because it absorbs odors. Just fill your fabric, tie it up, and place it where you want a hint of freshness, between folded towels, in your sock drawer, near your bed pillows, or inside coat closets. And if you ever feel like the scent is fading, give the pouch a little squeeze. It reactivates the aroma, like waking up an old memory. This little ritual is not about luxury. It is about care. It is about adding quiet beauty to the parts of your home you touch every day, even when no one else sees them. Sometimes, freshness does not come from cleaning. It comes from adding a tiny bit of joy where you least expect it. Tip number 8. Use baking soda to deodorize upholstery and rugs. Over time, fabric holds on to life. It absorbs scents from pets, food, body oils, even perfume and cleaning products. The couch you sit on, the armchair where you read, the rug beneath your favorite slippers, all of them gather little traces of daily life. And while that can be beautiful, it can also become a source of odor that lingers, quietly and constantly. But there is an easy and natural way to freshen these fabrics, one that costs almost nothing and takes very little effort. Just reach for a box of baking soda. Baking soda is a natural deodorizer. It does not mask smells. It lifts them out. Here is what I do. Sprinkle a light layer of baking soda across your upholstery. That means your couch, chairs, or any fabric surface that gets regular use. Let it sit for at least 20 minutes, longer if you have time. Even an hour is fine. During that time, the baking soda will absorb odors from the fabric. Then, using a vacuum with a brush attachment, gently clean up the powder. If you do this once every few weeks, or even once a month, you will notice a fresh, neutral scent returning to your living space. You can even add a few drops of essential oil, like lavender or lemon, to the baking soda before you sprinkle it. Mix it in a bowl first. Let it dry a little. Then apply it the same way. This gives you a soft, pleasant aroma that is not overwhelming. This tip is especially helpful for anyone with pets. Our furry companions are wonderful, but they do bring their own smells with them, especially on blankets, cushions, and beds. So next time your room feels a little stale, before you reach for a spray or candle, try a dusting of baking soda. It is one of the gentlest ways to reset a room. Tip number 9. Use an essential oil diffuser for calm and clean scent. There is something deeply soothing about scent when it is done right. Not heavy perfume, not artificial sprays, but the natural smell of lavender in the evening, peppermint in the morning, or eucalyptus after a long day. One of the easiest ways to bring that gentle, natural freshness into your home is with a small essential oil diffuser. A diffuser takes just a few drops of essential oil and mixes it with water to create a fine mist that fills the air with scent. You can turn it on for an hour while you rest, read, or even pray, and the room will quietly begin to feel more grounded, more peaceful. I have a small diffuser on my nightstand, and I often turn it on in the evening while I unwind. Just a few drops of lavender, and the whole room begins to slow down with me. If you want to try it yourself, here are a few safe and popular oils to begin with. Lavender, for rest and calm. Lemon, for a clean, uplifting scent. Eucalyptus, for a fresh, open feeling. Chamomile, for gentle relaxation. Peppermint, for focus and clarity. You can find these oils at most health stores or online. Look for pure, natural oils with no added fragrance or chemicals. And always follow the directions that come with your diffuser, especially when it comes to how much water to use and how to clean it. If you have breathing sensitivities or medical concerns, speak with your doctor first. While most essential oils are safe, everyone reacts differently. But if you are able to enjoy them, a diffuser is a lovely addition to any room. It becomes part of a rhythm, a cue that says, now is the time to slow down. Now is the time to care for yourself. And that, more than anything, is what a good-smelling home is really about. It is not just about removing odors. It is about adding softness, comfort, and a sense of peace. Tip number 10. Sun-dry your blankets and cushions to naturally freshen fabrics. There is something almost magical about the way sunlight can refresh a room, not just through the windows, but by touching the very things we rest on every day. Blankets, throws, decorative pillows, and even your favorite chair cushions absorb more than just warmth and comfort. Over time, they gather odors, some from our bodies, others from the room itself. These fabrics quietly collect moisture, cooking scents, pet dander, and even the air's dust and humidity. And though we might not always notice it right away, these soft items begin to hold a certain smell. Not necessarily bad, but not clean either. That is why I have made it a habit to take my blankets and cushions outside every now and then, to let them breathe in the open air and soak up the natural freshness of the sun. You do not need a large backyard or a fancy clothesline to do this. A porch railing, a sturdy chair in the sun, or even a balcony can do the trick. I usually check the weather first, choosing a mild, dry day. Then I carry out my sofa throws, bedroom blankets, and couch cushions, and I lay them where they can get direct sunlight and a bit of breeze. The sun does more than just warm the fabric. Its ultraviolet rays naturally kill bacteria and help break down odor-causing compounds in the material. The wind helps shake out dust, and the open air carries away the lingering scents. After just a few hours, everything smells lighter, fresher, and somehow more alive. And there is a kind of ritual comfort in the process itself. Taking the time to gently lay things out, to let nature lend a hand in your cleaning, to go back and flip the fabric halfway through. It slows you down in the best way. It turns freshening your home into an act of care, not just a chore. Even if you live in an apartment, you can open a window and drape a blanket across the sill, just enough to let the air and sun reach it. It does not take much. I try to do this once a month, or whenever I start to notice that my living room or bedroom has lost that clean feeling, even if everything looks tidy. And I have to say, when I bring those blankets back inside, warm from the sun, gently scented by the breeze, it feels like a little gift to the whole home. You can even combine this with a gentle fabric spray or essential oil mist before you place them in the sun. Just a tiny bit of lavender or chamomile spray can add another layer of comfort, fresh air and sunlight. That is all it takes sometimes. Not everything needs to come from a bottle or a machine. Some of the best home refreshers are the ones we have had all along. So the next time you are doing a bit of tidying, try setting your blankets or pillows outside, just for a while. When you bring them back in and wrap them around you, they will not just feel clean, they will feel loved. We have talked about 10 simple, meaningful ways to help your home smell fresh, feel lighter, and bring more peace into your everyday life. And as I sit here reflecting on all we shared, I want to remind you of something very important. You're not just keeping a house clean. You're caring for the space that holds your memories, your mornings, your family, and your quiet moments. That is a sacred thing. Freshness is not about making your home look perfect for someone else. It is about creating a space that feels good for you, where you can rest, breathe deeply, and feel safe and surrounded by comfort. You do not have to do it all at once. Start with one tip. Just one. Let it become part of your rhythm. And when you are ready, try another. This is not a race. It is a gentle journey. One that honors your pace, your body, and your heart. Hope that something in today's video spoke to you. I hope it reminded you that you deserve to live in a home that feels clean, calm, and loved. Not because it is perfect, but because you are in it. And if you have a story to share, a favorite scent, a childhood memory, or a cleaning habit passed down through your family, I would be so honored if you would share it in the comments. That is how this community grows. Not through perfection, but through connection. If you are new here, I hope you will consider subscribing to Wise Elders Insight. This is a space created with love for women like you, women with wisdom, with stories, with warmth. You're always welcome here. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of your space, and remember that every little act of care is a gift, one that starts with you.